Thank you everyone for joining the meeting. And as Ed mentioned, the meeting is being recorded. So if you agree, just push the got it on your screens. But this is really for our records, and so that we can analyze and remember things that we said and mentioned and what we discussed. The length of the meeting actually was planned for 1 hour. In 1 hour time, we have to present reports of board members in the following way. Una will be the first. So the president of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, then Shane Kells, the director liaison with Canadians, then Ed Calvinch, Vice President and Director of Business Development, and then Mark Watson, Director of Corporate Membership. And then I would like to start with my short presentation, how I see the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, the goals and what we have done, and also questions for discussion, because this meeting is for us to make a very good year with a lot of success in a way we would like to see it. Okay, and this is my short presentation. Every board member will present for around 2 minutes. That's the length of the meeting. Okay, let me start. So the goals for this year, and actually years ahead, is definitely to increase our active membership, representation of Canadian membership in our chamber, and activity of current members. And the environment in which we are working is like this. This is what I would like to start. This is kind of a complicated slide, but we are in a way, but also competing with the Canada government in the trade and export, both from Canada to Latvia and Latvia to Canada. And actually this is the main thing and main difference between the chambers in Latvia, like for example, Norwegian Chamber of Commerce or British Chamber of Commerce, probably even American Chamber of Commerce and others. And this kind of explains the relationship we have with the embassy and its level. So it's covered by the budget and supported by the budget of Canadian government through the Senior Trade Commissioner's Office, and from Latvia to Canada through the Latvian Investment and Development Agency, with the help and support of EU funds, kind of a massive programs, massive fundings that have their strengths and weaknesses, of course, like strengths being government and EU support and funds available, weaknesses, well, kind of formal approach, and small number of Canadian companies in Latvia. In comparison to what the Canadian Chamber of Commerce does, so that helps export and business opportunities from Latvia to Canada and also other direction. So with the help of program called DMC, so and also obviously the funds come from the membership, and the strengths and weaknesses here as well. So that the strengths is focus on interests of our members through the destination management coordination system, and strengths is also our international membership. A couple of weaknesses, like the major weaknesses, again, small number of Canadian companies in the chamber and cooperation with the embassy and senior trade commissioner. And so my basic conclusion is that the reasons of the level of cooperation and support from the Embassy of Canada is definitely this policy of Canadian government to support companies who are taxpayers in Canada, not in Latvia, and the small number of Canadian companies in Latvia in general, and probably also the interest of Canadian companies to come and invest in Latvia is rather low at the moment. Nevertheless, cooperation has to be maintained through the joint events and speakers, and like one of the events is planned on the 16th of March, and we will be discussing this also. But the focus should be shifted towards projects matching our members' business interest and profile. And so that the approach should be like, again, focus on the members' business interest, develop partnerships with countries that we are interested in, and develop services for Canadian Chamber of Canada members, and strengthen business ties with Canada and increase visibility of CanCham in Latvia and abroad. And how are we going to do that? So we'll have a program to create the partnerships. Again, thanks to our international memberships and the approach of DMC. So the Canadian Chamber of Commerce will work not only with Canada, but also with UK, Nordic countries, any other countries who are for us an interesting destination places. Success factors, as I see, it's the programs and communication channels that we already have that are established, where the board had been very actively working till now. Active involvement of members, this is the most important. And then, of course, the success is the result. And services to our members, I just want to mention once again. So definitely it's networking in a way of different events and cooperation with other chambers of commerce and associations. Marketing, it's all the web pages, social media and show and talk initiatives and CanCham talks, business opportunities through the DMC program and Visit Latvia program, where Edwin will speak in more detail, and lobbying and advocacy like representation with political parties and Foreign Investment Council, which is a new initiative, and we will be approaching and becoming a member. I also copied here the event calendar, which we will be discussing during this meeting, because your input is very important. So this is what the board decided, and there are some open questions, open events where we would like to listen to your ideas as well. And so the question for discussion from my side is that to reach the goal, there are activities already accomplished to enhance the cooperation with Canadian sector, also membership and business development. Like there are 2 new positions created since last annual general meeting. So we have Director Liaison with Canadians, Shane Kells, whose responsibility is creating relationship and negotiating with our Canadians living in Latvia, also embassy and senior trade commissioner, also military. And so it's very wide range. Then Director of Corporate Membership, Mark Watson, was his tasks and responsibility to talk to the membership, especially corporate level, to have their involvement on much higher level, and also attract new members. And we have right now very active Director of Business Development, which is Ed Calvinch, and he will be speaking on 2 very interesting topics right now, being maybe an intrigue, but I will let Edwin talk about it. And the challenge is what we've been seeing is the low activity of the members, unfortunately. So we do have massive programs, very interesting programs, but the activity of members is not high. And I would like to discuss what can we do together to increase activity, to make it interesting for you as the members, and also reach the goals like increasing memberships and increased level of relationship with the Canadian Embassy. And thank you for the attention. That's from my side. And my suggestion is that I will give floor now to Shane, and then Shane will give floor to Ed, and then we'll have all the discussions at the end, if you all agree to such a scenario. Yep.
That works for me.
Okay. All right. I stop my share and give floor to Shane, please.
Okay. Hello, I'm Shane Kells. Thanks, Una, for the opening there. Yeah, lots of challenges, lots of possibilities. My role is the Canadian Chamber's liaison lead, director of liaising with Canadians, and trying to get people interested in just discussing matters with other Canadians and getting together so that the Mark can then look at taking it further into other directions of business, and with Ed doing the same. But yeah, my role, as the title suggests, is just to get Canadians meeting with other Canadians and generating interest in the CanCham. I was actually going to leave the drapes open here because I'm in Malta right now, and there's really nice yachts behind and everything. But then I heard of how cold it was in Montreal, and so I thought, no, I'm not gonna show that. So I'll leave the drapes closed. But my role of liaising with Canadians includes members of the armed forces, the embassy, business people, as well as other Canadians living in the country. I guess part of the mandate is also to talk with Canadians and Canadian entities like the embassy and military about the events that they want to hold throughout the year, and try to get the CanCham to support or help them with their events or to lead events for them, because again, it's all about getting people together. We want, as Una said, one of the challenges we have is a low activity of members, and one of the ways we want to get around that is to have more people meeting each other and finding out what's actually going on. I've reached out to Colonel Earl Vandal with Canadian Government Defense Attaché, and offered CanCham assistance for the event in June that the military is holding, celebrating 5 years of the military presence in Latvia. And we're going to continue to work on that in the upcoming months. Also regularly, I connect with Canadian Ambassador to Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, Kevin Rex. And we at the CanCham are looking to support, or we're looking to support, the July 1st Canada Day celebrations here. However, the embassy's got the military already working with them, so our support isn't required at this time. However, in the summer, in July, we will be looking at an event of our own, and trying to get people from the embassy and the military together again, looking at a CanCham burger cook-off, an event for midsummer. So that's something that we're looking at. We'll be looking at hosting other events with the embassy in May. We're looking to host something for Kevin Rex, the ambassador, and have the focus on him, because this will be his last year in Latvia. So we want to say thank you for what he's done and help an event there. Also Thanksgiving, we want to especially get our military people together again with a Thanksgiving event. And then of course, a Christmas event we want to get involved in. We recently met with Canadian Charge d'Affaires and Trade Commissioner Tyler Wordsworth, and this is to better understand each other's goals and to look for areas of mutual cooperation. And that was all the members, well, most of the members of our board met with him last month. So again, from my end, my role is really to try to keep the lines of communication open, and if they're already there, to enhance them, and if they're not there, establish them. And that's been my area of focus these last weeks and months. So that's about it from my side, Una.
Thank you very much. And I am personally very, very happy about what you have done so far. And so all the communication channels being open and developed. So thank you. This is very valuable. So
Well, now we got to take it to the next step. That's the hard part. But yeah,
yes.
we're getting there.
Yeah, and this is with a joint effort. And I
Yeah.
believe there are some good starts already because the senior trade commissioner also had mentioned that there is an interest of cooperation if we find the common topics that are priority for Canadian government and priority of our members. So if we join our forces, we can do very well. So thank you, Shane. Then
You're welcome.
Edwins, please now your turn with the exciting news that we are planning. Edwins, we don't see, you are muted.
We'll leave the news for just a little bit later. We're getting back to in-person meetings, and one of the things that we're going to do is we'll make sure that we have Zoom capability so the people that are not in Riga can actually also participate in them. And the first meeting that we have being planned with the Trade Commissioner is on March the 16th. So and the rest of the program will basically depend on what we discussed today. When it comes to the Visit Latvia program, some of you here have been very much a part of that. It is now well established. I'm spending a lot of time writing to people internationally about this thing. The essence of the idea is to attract people to come to Latvia on a sort of vacation business mission, you know, get to know Latvia and meet with some business people. That would be for the trade tourism and the business tourism programs. We have the medical tourism program, which applies to those people in the medical services, and of course, our sports tourism, which we found out that we can actually attract people from the UK and other countries, and not just Canada. So we're actually going in a lot of directions here. A lot of that is to develop interest here in Latvia. And although the concept is being received well, obviously COVID is slowing things down. But you know, that's basically, people are learning to live with it, and things will loosen up soon. So we hope to see motion on that. But we're basically ready to go. Information on that is in the website, and we'll take it from there. Our DMC system has been established, but it's one of those things that we have to get more activity happening there. So even though we have DMCs in various countries now, what we have to do is promote it more and make it work. Now, the one thing that we've recognized is a lot of people have said, we don't have anything to do with Canada. Okay. So how do we meet the requirements of the members who feel that they don't have anything to do with Canada? Well, we are developing what we're calling the North European Business Association. The idea of the Northern European Business Association is basically to connect all our contacts into one organization. This again is to give our members more access to what's going on. And we have very good contacts in the UK, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark. And we were saying, well, we're not using these contacts. So what we're doing is we will have a board of advisors and a managing director. I shall be the managing director at the beginning to get this thing going. And that is basically something new. One of the reasons why we're doing this is that our expectations of developing business with Canada have been limited. And quite frankly, we have to do something to move things along. We will keep working with the Canadian connection, but when we talk, for instance, about DMCs and the Visit Latvia program, when it comes to Canada, it also applies to the UK. I mean, we've been talking about curling people coming from the UK here. You know, the UK just, Normans, you mentioned just earlier that that they won the gold in curling. So curling is very active there. And part of the idea is to get people to come to Latvia and so that they get to know us. And that develops opportunities for our members. Okay, so that's a very important part. The other part is our social media. And I have to say, I have to express a lot of disappointment here. We have a section called Facebook, CanCham members and good friends. And when people post things there, unfortunately, even our own board members don't go in there and show that they're alive and well. And I think that this is one of the problems that we have. Unfortunately, social media is the only way we have to communicate right now. It is certainly a very good way of communicating with people who are not in Riga. And I would really like to encourage all of you to use it. We also have the Facebook CanCham page, and we're also on LinkedIn and Twitter. But again, it's a question of activity, and our biggest challenge is getting people to be active. And that's basically it for what I wanted to mention. I'm obviously open to questions. And Ona, maybe let's go on to a general discussion.
Yeah, thank you, Edwin, and thank you very much for your presentation and mentioning all the projects that we have done. And from my side, again, I would say that maybe for the majority of members, it might seem that we have been not that active or quiet for a moment, but actually this period last year ending like November, December, and also January was very active for the board and also for the focus groups. Like as Ed mentioned, the medical tourism, sports tourism, business tourism, trade tourism within the Visit Latvia program was very active when we sat down and thought about activities and how we're going to do that. Because it's not only show Latvia as the great place of destination, but this is also to develop our inside cooperation and relationship, because the partners of this program, this all us, the members, all the companies who are interested in developing these wonderful projects. So thank you. Okay, Mark is not here, but I wanted to mention that Mark Watson, being director of corporate membership, is not only responsible for communication with corporate members and attracting new members, but also on, let's say, polishing our strategy. You know that the strategy so far had been posted on the webpage. You all know that very well. But we decided that some parts could be polished, could be written maybe on wider scale with a new approach. Like also you heard about Northern European Business Association. So the ideas will be there, and Mark will be inviting members to participate in this strategy writing, but that's his mandate. Yeah, and also he will be probably sending out, or at least inquiring about the questionnaire to test the kind of temperature of the members' satisfaction how satisfied the members are with the work of Canadian Chamber of Commerce and what could we do together. But all right, now let's come to the general discussions. And one thing is events calendar. If we can go, maybe I should open my presentation and the calendar of events. Ed, would that be fine? Do you?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. So, is it well seen?
Yep,
Okay.
it's good.
All right, so now March the 16th, that's focus on Canada. That's already kind of agreed, and we have a discussion. So trade, business, and export with Tyler Wadsworth, so Canadian Senior Trades Commissioner, and also the expert of government exports to Central and Eastern Europe. So he's based in Berlin and coming to Latvia. So we will have a chance to talk on trade, exports, and the Canadian programs on that. And Ed also will be having a presentation on our mandate, on Canadian Chamber of Commerce mandate and the programs on business development. Then April, it's show and tell, health, leisure, and education group. Will be discussing on that, but the basic idea is that the members of the group will present themselves and what they want to tell to Canadian companies, any other companies like we mentioned, Nordic countries and other countries as well. So then the May 15th is the CanCham Focus on Canada. So that's an event with the Canadian Embassy, with the Ambassador Kevin Rex. Then June 15th, it's, as Shane mentioned, we still have plans to talk about, but that's 5th year anniversary of Canadian Armed Forces in Latvia. Then the 1st of July, Canada Day celebration, and with the hamburger making contest, but this also will depend a lot on embassy interest and how much can we cooperate with embassy on this event. Then, August, that's a month off. That's kind of a vacation for everyone. We will not do anything. We haven't scheduled any events. Then September 5th, that's the CanCham Corner, like an informal get together. And we have here mentioned to start the new academic year. But this is really being informal. Like we had CanCham corners before, like with Zuali to play and swimming and bathing at the hotel at the Baltic Beach. So otherwise, this is very formal, and we need just to get together. Don't think about business. Just have a chat and enjoy. Then October comes, the Canadian Thanksgiving dinner. November, show and tell for business support group. December, Canadian Chamber Christmas, and our kind of latest talk was to move annual general meeting to January, but probably this will not happen that way, and the annual general meeting will move back to October or September or November. But it has some good reasons for that, like accounting reasons and financing reasons attached. So yeah, please, this is the calendar of events. I would like to listen to members' ideas or acknowledgement or agreement or what shall we do on these informal get-together meetings, or how about the hamburger making contest? And actually, we shouldn't forget the charity events that Canadian Chamber of Commerce had always and before. And it was December during the CanCham Christmas, but this event was like not possible on the present with the members' participation. And we just did the charity event, which actually was kind of a low interest, and we just gathered a little over 400 euros instead of around 1,000 and more previously. And then we had discussion, maybe it's not a good time, like the Christmas time is when everyone collects and tries to do charity. Maybe this could be done in July, in summertime, with the Canadian hamburger making contest or something like that. So yeah, please feel free to comment, to suggest, so that we make a very good schedule of events that's interesting for you, so that you are going to participate. Otherwise, this list doesn't mean anything if we don't have membership involvement. Yeah, please, anyone?
Hi, yes. So my name is Toms, and I'm representing MRCAR. So we will be the ones who will provide the transport. I can actually comment on the thing about this December CanCham Christmas. Yes, charity. Actually, the company is also doing charity, and to be honest, this year we also had some troubles getting some money. And if we compare with the previous years, so I think that it's very much connected with the COVID situation, and everybody are quite inactive and not willing to participate in such events. So my guess that in the summer it will be much better. For example, we can maybe make it like that. You kind of buy these hamburgers, but it's actually a charity. So maybe that would bring more money. Yeah, something like this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Toms, for the comment. And actually about the summertime and the charity event could be very interesting and attractive. Like if we still choose to donate to the same organization that leads us, which is the how to correctly say handicapped children, and we collect money for the funds to make them sing and dance and perform, so make them happy. So they could also come and maybe sing or have some performance in summertime. And if it's in the beach or something, they may have even fun rather than winter and cold times. So yeah, that's little comment, additional comment. Are there any other comments on anything, on any event, on season, ideas or questions?
I've got a question for Yelena in Montreal. You were, one time we were talking about medical services from Montreal. What are your thoughts about this Visit Latvia program? Do you think that could possibly move things along on there?
I do believe that everything is possible. It's just Montreal was like in complete blackout coma for these 2 years. So nothing moved, nothing been like going on. But the good thing, we have like really medical collapse, like crisis due to COVID-19. So it's actually a good time to promote our services. I spoke to a couple of persons, for example, like I know the dental services, and compare and like show them the price comparison and the ticket price. It's still like super expensive in Canada. So I guess that's one thing with a great potential. But still, we also need to promote Latvia itself, because not a lot of people trust us, and not a lot of people know where we are and what we're doing, and like why Latvia, not Zimbabwe. It's still like this kind of, you know, things.
Well, this is one of the reasons we developed the Visit Latvia program, but because for those of you that may not be aware of this, the DMC in, for instance, Canada would be we're offering package prices, and the people at the other end get a €300 commission for the clients that they send. Okay, and that's within the package price. And when it comes to medical tourism, we found out that even with all these costs, the services here in Latvia are less expensive than places like Canada and the UK. So that's basically where we're concentrating on now. And Yelena, by the way, I got the same reaction on the medical tourism from Sam in Toronto and from Tatiana in Vancouver, and they all said that that there's actually good chances for the Visit Latvia program in all 4 categories that we're talking about here. That there was people from Vancouver who were actually interested in the Visit Latvia program also. So that's something that I think we have to run up the flagpole and pay more attention to it. And this is one of the reasons why we also established the Northern European Business Association, because obviously, if we're talking to you in Canada, the CanCham is relevant, but when we're talking to people in Norway, the UK and Sweden, it's not that relevant. And this is why we decided to establish NEPA as an alternate organization to make people feel a little more comfortable if they're dealing just here in Latvia. Okay, so it's basically the same people involved, but it's a little bit of a different marketing approach.
Yeah, I think it's really clever. Yeah.
Okay.
I have comment on the show and tell event. Like you may remember that, you know, a year ago, we were talking about rather difficult format of the show and tell, like to have a very special presentation according to, you know, different ways. But then we decided let it be easier. Just the companies who want to present themselves, just make their presentations and put their information they want to tell, they want to show, and they want to point out, to sell their services. So this will not follow the format before we had with the instructions and very hard work, because yeah, some of us who tried it out understood it's too hard to work on it, and you know, it kind of dropped the interest and motivation. But at least I will talk to the group I'm leading, the health, leisure, and education, how we do that, and it will be both in person and on Zoom, so that people may also network and also be present, and you know, from other countries could join via Zoom. So that's one comment. So don't be afraid of show and tell event, but we also need audience. really audience, companies, people who are interested in either investing in Latvia or investing in Canada and doing exports there. Then also, I would like to talk a little bit more on this Canada Day celebration and hamburger making. If it's like a contest of making hamburgers, would you be interested in participating? It will be like members making hamburgers if they want to, and you know, have fun rather than, you know, a hotel preparing a hamburger for us. Okay, so I understand, yes. Would that be interesting for you? Okay.
I think the concept is like some of the other chambers have a chili cookout and stuff like that, you know.
And curry also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I understand that this is acceptable and you would be happy to try. Yeah. Okay. And then combined with the charity. Okay. Buy the hamburger. Okay. All right. Yeah. And informal get together. Shall we stick to the zoolite and swimming, etc., or anything else? So it's still time to come for a decision, right? Okay.
Well, I just like to say that I think the format that we had at the Baltic Beach Hotel was excellent, where we had the Zoolite and the people who didn't like Zoolite had a chance to enjoy themselves, you know, swimming or whatever they were doing. I don't know. I was doing the Zoolite. So, and that's something that attracts people. So I think we should probably use the same format.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And another question is, there was an offer from the Irish Chamber of Commerce about kind of organizing joint events. Like if one chamber decides on a topic and also invites another chamber or maybe 2 or 3 chambers to organize it together. Do you support such an idea? Would you be interested or also participating in other chambers events if you see the speaker is interesting or the topic is something you would like to listen or hear about?
I do.
You do?
This,
Okay.
yeah, because these chambers have been doing this for several years already and very successfully, because for one chamber, it is very difficult to collect a lot of people, participants. But when you join forces together, it's much easier, and it's more opportunities to network because you meet other people from other chambers. It also widens your perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so here I understand interest is present, and if there are invitations or events, we will inform you. And also, if we are planning any event with interesting speakers, maybe besides the ones we have on the list, we could then discuss how we do it much better with the better attendance of our members. Okay, all right. That's then I stop the sharing screen so that we can talk more questions. So anything else for you as the members to discuss? If not, then activity of the membership, how shall we enhance this? What do you think? Actually, everyone has a floor to discuss. Like if the March 16th is approaching, so that the focus on trade, we need members to participate. We need audience to listen. So to make it interesting.
One thing that hasn't been mentioned on this call is the fact that there is now going to be a LIA representative in Canada, starting with the beginning of April. So just wondering if everyone's aware of that. And in terms of building audience, like for an event like March 16th, like who do you want to have involved? And how is, I guess, the chamber going to be working with the new LIA representative?
Thank you, Ingrid, for the comment. This has actually always been a very, very kind of interesting question and approach. How do we develop? Because also in my presentation, I pointed out that this is kind of different program, which is EU fundings and with the support of Latvian government. And we are kind of competing, maybe is not the right word for it, but we are separate, independent of different organization. And so far we haven't really got these, points of common interest, or how do we work together. Last year we had actually the presentation, it was the CanCham talks, where we invited LIA representative in Canada to speak on possibilities. Also the embassy of Latvia in Canada was invited to speak and talk about chances, also other speakers. But the problem is there's no action following. Okay, it's the information. All right, now we all know that LIA is there, our embassy is here, the mandates are this and that. We know what our mandate is, but how to cooperate. So this is the input from the members as well, what we are looking forward. It's not only board's responsibility to figure out cooperation ways, but it's all the members who have any idea. And actually we had here Andris Alksnis, Andris is here too. So maybe Andris may have some comment on how to develop that relationship, because this is our interest. This is our interest to get together on a program so that the LIA maybe market the Canadian Chamber of Commerce efforts and all the possibilities, like having this Visit Latvia program, having DMC program. I mean, we really have great opportunities, but how to market this idea, how to get people listen to us and hear us. Andre, maybe you have comments.
Regarding this representation office, it was completely not my competence to select this person. Actually, I know the person at the moment, but just new for me information. It's one lady representing LIA. I think she's from Toronto. Regarding cooperation with LIA, it's absolutely not a problem to cooperate. Every company which is registered in Latvia is kindly invited to participate in our events. Have you been in Dubai, for example, for health mission? We had mission to Dubai. We had mission for space industry to Dubai. At the moment, there are Latvian days in Dubai because of this Expo 2020. It's not a problem to cooperate, just apply and do the things. It's my comment.
We will be able to cooperate. I do know the new LIA representative quite well, and I've already been spending some time talking to her. So, but I'm a newbie to CanCham. So Una, maybe with you or with Andris or Edvins, we can, take a discussion offline, and you can educate me a bit more on CanCham, and we can see how we can work together.
No problem. When she will start to his duties, I think it will be not a problem to invite her to this speak about and to invite each another.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely
Yes.
not a problem.
Well, I fully agree. So LEA projects, they are available, and they are open for companies who meet the criteria and who meet, these, criteria, basically. That's what it is. They meet small and medium-sized companies, and I guess there are some programs also for the large companies. But this is not through the Canadian Chamber of Commerce in Latvia. So this is, different. It's open for any company in Latvia. So the question probably is how Canadian Chamber of Commerce cooperates with LEA. So that's the challenging part. Or do we need to cooperate because the program is already established? Our cooperation would be just informing the members, organizing events, telling about that. Maybe that's the way of cooperation. Who is leaving? Goodbye. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but Ingrid, of course, let's meet and talk. You, me, Edwins, Andres, and let's see what we can offer to the members of CanCham.
That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. It seems that actually members start to leave. They have to run. The time is over, and. Is there anything else critical to discuss, or shall we just finish the meeting because the hour is gone? Yeah, Janis, please.
Just one note. I remember last year we had a very nice business visit to CESIS, and year before to Iecava. Is there any idea for this year, or we are not doing such things anymore?
Actually, these visits or trips, or how you call in English correctly, the business development program is a great initiative and great opportunity. But again, the problem is the activity and low involvement of members. Plus, another aspect is that if we are going to approach the Embassy of Canada to Latvia for the sponsorship, we have to remember that their mandate or their interest is to support companies who are taxpayers in Canada. They do not support companies who are based in Latvia and taxpayers in Latvia to the same level as the Canadian companies. And the number of Canadian companies in Latvia is very, very low. And if we organize those trips, then the host companies, they have their expectations and what they see Latvian companies visiting them. That's not their interest. They are looking for the export to Canada. And we hadn't been successful to offer this and their expectations are not met. And also the embassy, they also evaluate what the program looks like, what are the outcomes. And so if we do such a thing, we really have to think it over so that the goal is there for the Canadian embassy to sponsor and the companies to host and also members to visit. So it's very hard work. But I agree, this is a great thing to do. But there has to be a very clear format so that all expectations are met.
Yeah, Janis, I was talking to Irena about this thing, but basically she likes the idea and the format. It worked very well in both Iecava and CESIS. But what she was saying that maybe we should be looking at a smaller delegation going. So, maybe 5 or 6 people as opposed to something that's a little bit more. Originally, our expectation, though, was that we would have a lot more people participating. So that's one thing we still need to talk about.
Right, and also to evaluate all our activities, actually, I'm interested in getting feedback. Like, okay, these were great events, but what was the outcome? I mean, how many contacts we had or the members had? Was there a business development? Did you get some, real business out of these events? So what is the feedback? It's hard for me to understand which event to choose or what to do, not having this feedback or reporting from the members as well. Maybe we should have some kind of measuring or this feedback program.
Probably we have to provide some questionnaire after each event, how people think about it when they participated in the evening.
Yeah, actually, Anders could help us with the idea on this as well, because I know that Leah, when they are organizing their events, they have questionnaires afterwards, like on the feedback to understand, was it the right way? Was it the right approach? Was it interesting? Not, yeah, I agree. That's a good way. So we can.
Okay, I can provide a questionnaire, no problem.
Yeah, because
it's important not to overwhelm with this questionnaire. It should be quite short, probably some 3 to 5 questions. That's all.
Yes.
Otherwise, otherwise, if people will see very long questionnaires, they are not going to fill it.
Yeah, well, actually, there is another aspect of these field trips. Let's say we have our DMCs in Canada. And as we mentioned, this is the great program. But then how DMCs could follow us in these field trips? Like, we organized the trip, but the Canadian companies who wish to be there, to be present, they have to fly to Latvia. How they get there. So something again to think about it.
Well, we developed some very nice contacts in both of the trips that we had to Iecava and to Tezis, and we did a profile on the companies there. And I think this is an opportunity, for instance, Ingrid, in your case, if you review the meeting reports from those events, you can actually, I look at these companies with the idea that they could export to Canada. Okay, look, like I'm not interested in the other stuff. And there are certain companies that are particularly interesting. Okay.
Well, there are some reports I can look at that has some contact names.
Yeah, they're in the website. Okay.
Okay, I guess I haven't come across them yet. I'll look for them then.
Well, you see, this is one of the problems that we have. People don't read the website. No, it's not only you, okay?
Yeah.
Like, it's everyone, okay? And this is one of the most frustrating things in the CanCham is that there is a lot of information out there, but nobody uses it, okay? But because the meeting reports are posted in the Facebook CanCham members and good friends page, okay? They're posted in the website itself under events. So if you go into the events and you scroll down, you can see all the events that we've had over the last 6 years. Okay. And you can see, I point out particular companies that are of interest for exporting, because one of the things that we're trying to accomplish is to develop strategic partnerships between Canadian companies and Latvian companies. Well, now with NEPA, we're saying, well, we can do it with Canadian companies, but we can also do it with our contacts in the UK, Norway, and Sweden, and in Northern Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So the concepts that we're developing for Canada are being used internationally, but nobody's, it's so frustrating. The people are not looking at the information that's there. You know,
So Edwin, in this case in particular, should I look at Iecava and Cesis? Like if I were
Yeah.
to dig into two articles? Okay, I will look for them, and if I can't find them, I'll let you know.
yeah, you just go into the main CanCham page where it says events, and then scroll
Mhm.
down and you'll see report on the Tesis commercial visit and report on the Iecava commercial visit. The Tesis one is the recent one, and Iecava was a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have done a lot of valuable things and gathered the valuable data and information, and it's a shame and pity that our members don't use it. But it sounds like maybe the communication isn't that clear where and how to look for this data or this information. And maybe we should figure out, Ed, how to get the information over to DMCs in Canada. Where should they look and what to look for, you know, kind of little more explanation on our website. Even I remember Edwin's had an invitation for the members who would like to explore the website of Canadian Chamber of Commerce and all the information there, contact him. He could be an excellent guide because all the information is there. Yeah, Ingrid, this probably is again one aspect we could talk about and where to find information, because this is important. If we organize events, that's for the business relationship and strengthening ties with Canada and develop partnerships, and we should use it.
We had a board meeting just like one of the recent ones where we said the main communication method is the Facebook CanCham members and good friends page. Okay, because we are putting things in there. So if every once in a while you go into the CanCham members and good friends, you simply go to the link and it'll take you into the website itself. So you don't really have to go and look. And we recognize that that is the most important platform that we have right now. Okay, like, and we have to stress that to people to go in there and use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yanni, you raised your hand.
Just one hot idea, how to involve Canadian companies, especially in these visit sites. We are going to live in hybrid world, so that might be idea. We go locally to some company, and when we meet with them, we can organize probably Zoom, inviting some Canadian companies who are interested in specific Latvian company. Of course, that would be technically probably difficult, but still, that would be the way. They don't need to fly here to Latvia.
Yes, actually, that's a good thing. We could figure out maybe a video trip or something like that. But at the same time, why don't we use that format of show and tell? Let's say it is kind of a field trip also. So if we have Canadian companies interested in doing business in Latvia, they participate, and also we can figure out the companies in Latvia who are interested to show themselves, to present. So it is kind of a field trip as well, don't you think?
Well, one thing I'd like to point out, we have two people here, Ingrid, who's willing to be a sales representative for a Latvian company over there, right, Ingrid? That's what you said. Astrid is ready to do that here in Latvia. Exactly the same thing.
Mhm.
And the fact of the matter is, we have the DMC system, okay? The idea being, if a Canadian wants to do business in Latvia, the Canadian will probably want to talk to a Canadian who knows what's going on here. So Ingrid, for instance, you would be the best point of contact in Canada for a Canadian company that wants to come here. And the DMC at this end is the one who organizes it here. So you see, the DMC system is such that it gives the local people the confidence. Okay, for instance, Astrid's been talking about, we've been talking about people from France doing business over here. Okay, and she knows them, and she also knows the local situation. So this is what we have to work on. We have to understand, you know, we already have the tools, okay? Because for instance, if there was a Canadian company that wanted to find out about business over here, Ingrid could help them, okay? And she would connect them to the other people. Now, it's not only Ingrid, there's Sam, there's Ernest, there's Yelena, there's Tatiana, you know, there's our other DMCs that are in Canada that can do that. So, and theoretically, the foreign ministry has honorary consuls who are supposed to be doing the same thing in Canada. Okay, but they're not doing it. And the question is, why aren't they doing it? Okay.
And Ingrid, yeah, sorry, yeah, Tom's, goodbye.
See you, Tom.
Yeah, and Ingrid, you could also use this Visit Latvia program as well, because here in Latvia, it's again, the instrument is all set. So it's the group of companies who would meet the Canadian company or companies or people, organize the whole thing for them in Latvia, depending on their interest and you know, will. So I agree, instruments are there.
I mean, my focus is more in the other direction, right? Which are the Latvian companies that would like to export and have not exported to Canada? And, you know, I'm happy to facilitate that. It's a little more of a wide field to say which Canadian company wants to invest in Latvia, right? That's a whole other kind of ball of wax. You need the awareness first. I forget who said earlier in the meeting that some people don't even know where Latvia is, right? So again, there I think it's a matter of which are the Latvian companies who are looking for investment from Canada. But I have another thought as well, which is a question like, what does Latvia need from Canada? Because if you're going to get someone from Canada interested in Latvia, it might be what can Canada export to Latvia, which would also just be beneficial for Latvia in the sense that the closer our economic ties are, you know, the more Canada's going to, you know, continue to support Latvia militarily and, you know, in all those other ways that Canada supports Latvia. So that, you know, again, this is probably not the meeting to discuss all of that, but I am you know, interested in learning about who are the importers in Latvia looking for products, or is it an importer in Europe that's looking for Canadian products? Like, how does it, you know, what's the scenario in the other direction?
Yeah, well, that's good. That's great. So we have something to work on and discuss, Ingrid. Yeah. That's good. Let's do it some other time.
Yes, let's. I'm happy to meet everyone and see everyone here today. Until now, I had only known Ed Wiens from a million years ago.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm seeing that members are leaving one after another. And it's not any sense to go further with the meeting because, you know, afterwards we'll probably discuss things and members are not present. And I would like to thank you all for participation. And actually, we finally got a very great discussion, and I feel the interest in the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, and that together we can develop much better ties with Canada and partnerships, and also develop new opportunities. And my wish is that we all use the tools we have, that we have actually made together for all for our own use. And have a great year ahead. And so the next meeting is approaching, so it's the 16th of March. But please also remember that the group meetings were not on the event schedule. This is still in the same way, so that the group leaders invite their groups for meetings, for discussions, for projects, for new ideas for the implementation in the future. Okay, goodbye and have a wonderful evening. Ciao.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.